What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome into NYJ today. We're so happy to have you tonight joining us. We've got Mike on the podcast. We've got Chad back
What
on
up?
the show for the second time. We are very happy to have him back on the show. We're looking forward to having that third wheel. That is kind of cool, right, Chad? The third wheel.
Yeah, apparently it is. Thank you.
The Eiffel Tower.
Well, we've got a lot to talk about. And if you're just joining us now, we're looking forward to talking all about the Jets, all the things that are going on with Jets football and the NFL draft. We're also. Say again?
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Yes. And just the other thing, just want to kind of point out, we will be talking about the giveaway that's coming up now in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, we're going to be giving away a $50 gift card to one of our subscribers. So if you're watching this after the stream, hit that subscribe button. And if you are new here, consider subscribing. If you haven't checked out the content, please do so. How are you guys feeling tonight? Let's go with Chad first.
Good, man. You know what? I feel like we've done a lot to pick apart this draft. This is obviously a very important draft for us coming up, but we're just down to a matter of days at this point, and I'm just ready to go. I'm ready for draft night. I'm ready to overanalyze everything about draft night and then get into day 2 and day 3 and 4 and see how it goes. I needed to be here now.
Yeah, no, it's taking forever to get here. 15 days away. Mike, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling amazing, John. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling like the odds are turning for us. I don't know if you got my forwarded YouTube video that I sent you from what's his name? Pat McCaffrey. What's his name? That video I sent. Did you watch it?
I know.
But he was going over the last, I think, 25 quarterbacks that the Jets have had since going back to 1996.
Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee, thank you. I couldn't remember his last name. And it was kind of depressing. I felt kind of bad. Him going from, Neil O'Donnell going through. The only real successful quarterback when he showed the records was really Vinny Testaverde, who I've always advocated for, and I get a lot of grief for it, that Vinny was a better quarterback in Jets history than we give him credit for. Okay, so let's just say that. But I was kind of depressed. And then I started to think about all the great videos and that you've done and the streams we've done, and I'm pretty psyched up for the draft. I'm not gonna lie. I know we're gonna talk about one particular topic, nightmares and dreams, and I'm somewhat bracing for a nightmare because that has been the history of the Jets. But I believe in Joe D. Just like the chat has stayed committed and have taught me, and I'm pretty psyched up to see what we do this year. So Doing good.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Can't wait to talk about it with you guys. So anyway, let's get into our first topic. And Mike already kind of teased it a little bit. By the way, if you did not know, we take phone calls. The phone line is open. Give us a ring and we will take your call. We'll listen to what you have to say about the Jets. The phone number does scroll across the screen. So if you want to give us a call, go ahead and do that. The first topic for tonight is going to be, what is your draft night nightmare? And I added a second part to it. What is your draft night dream? So
let's go with the dream first. Can we do that?
We can do dreams first. Mike, I'll go to you. Sorry, I'm switching my hands here. I don't know which way to point. Mike, you got this topic first. What is your draft night dream going to be? What needs to happen for your dreams to come true?
I was gonna joke, but I think chat would tear me a new one. My joke was going to be we draft Penny Sewell. That's my dream. I'm just kidding though. That's a joke. That is a joke. But hey,
not a great joke.
But my real dream is Jacksonville messes up the draft. We get Trevor Lawrence, and I get to put the poster on my wall that I've been dreaming of with his long hair and his abs showing. So that would be my dream right there. So I got another one, but I'll let Chad go.
Oh no, it's all good. Yeah, Chad, go with your dream. What's your dream of the draft? Draft night comes. What's your dream?
Yeah, realistically, I'm honing in at number 23 at this point. My second favorite Jets player of all time is Nick Mangold. I loved his leadership, his consistency. if we happen at number 23 to take a Wyatt Davis or even Vera Tucker, and he turns into anything close to Nick Mangold, that would be a dream come true. Obviously, we won't know that on draft night, but that would be that would be my number one scenario.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so getting an offensive lineman that's of the caliber of a Nick Mangold doesn't necessarily have to be a center. A lot of people are hung up on Creed Humphrey right now, and I am one of them. I do believe in Creed Humphrey. I think he'd be awesome to plug in at the center spot. But yeah, I agree with you. Having somebody like that on the inside to match with Mekhi Becton would just be truly dominant and awesome to watch. So one of my dreams, and I wrote down a bevy of them. I wrote down multiple dreams. So I said that one of my dreams, and this is obvious, but it's taking Zach Wilson and Justin Fields. And the reason why is because literally last night I had a nightmare that the Jets passed on both of those guys, and they took, I think it was like a wide receiver. Or
you're talking about nightmares.
Well, it was a nightmare, but my dream is we take one of those two guys. I think if we don't take one of those two guys, that's going to pretty much collapse my heart.
You hit on one of my nightmares, which was trading down and not taking a QB. Because what that would do is ESPN would rip us a new one for trading Arnold. Oh, my God, it would be relentless. We would never hear the end of it.
The only way they trade back is if they get Mac Jones or Trey Lance. The only way I would see them. We have somebody in the comments. It's Gumball 3D Gumball. I believe you were on the last stream. Welcome back to the channel, my man. Good to see you. He says, on the Gang Green, Ledger 82 says that Chuba Hubbard is the perfect running back for us. Do you guys agree? I have comments on Chuba Hubbard. Does anybody have anything they want to say about Chuba? I'll go first. He's lightning's fast. He's got a lot of speed. I think he would fit this offensive scheme really well, that outside zone, that inside zone kind of scheme. And he's got breakaway speed and a lot of production in college. If you put on some tape of him, you can see his speed. It's apparent. With some guys, really sure. But when you watch him play football, he has got speed to kill.
But where's he estimated to go, though? He's like fourth round?
Mid-round.
Yeah,
he's a mid-round draft pick.
Are you taking him over Trey Sermon if they're both available?
That's a great question, actually. A lot of people are really hyped up on Trey Sermon. I like Trey Sermon. I just don't see him as being as a perfect fit for the scheme. That does not mean that I don't like him as a prospect as a running back. I think that the Jets should be looking for somebody with some outside speed, some really long. Nate says, Mike, drink a couple of Diet Millers for me. Sean Bennett, welcome to Sean Bennett. It's good to see you as always. I would still take probably Chuba over Trey Sermon. And again, I think a lot of people would feel a certain way about that, but I just feel like Chuba with his speed, he brings a lot of upside. That was one of the reasons why I didn't like the Michael Pirine, because there's not a whole lot of upside with him. You know what I mean?
I think considering the state of our line last year, it's hard to tell. I didn't see a lot of. You never saw a lot of separation for Pete. You never saw a lot of separation for anybody.
Sure.
So I don't think the full story has been written on him yet.
Sure.
That being said, to go back to Trey Sermon for a minute, is the knock on Trey Sermon that he doesn't have speed? Because
no. I don't think that he lacks speed. I just don't think that he has the low 4.4 speed that Chuba has. I think Chuba actually ran like a 4.38 or something asinine like that. I mean, it was crazy speed. So I do think Trey Sermon has good speed. He's more of like a balanced running back, kind of like a Najee Harris in that regard. I just prefer I want a running back that truly can take it to the house. We used to have somebody like Leon Washington that could really do that. Very explosive running back. I would like to get back to that kind of running back. So.
And to the point of the chat, they're suggesting. So we've already talked about this a few weeks ago. We're expecting a lot of bootlegs, rollout, and stuff like that. So we're looking for a running back that's going to be available in the flat and just be another receiver on the field.
So yeah, I'm sorry. I was gonna break roll and just kind of say I think at that spot mid round, I'd rather see the Jets go tight end, to be honest with you, rather than running back. I mean, because more than likely they're going to be backing up Tevin Coleman anyway, or perhaps would be the third back in committee, in which case we need a tight end just as bad as a running back, especially with those types of what are you laughing about?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at a comment. Go ahead. You just keep talking.
I think Tommy Tremble is supposed to go around that same area. So I think, if my honest opinion, and this goes for both Trey and for Chuba, I think I'd rather go for Tommy. So that's my opinion.
I like your comment there. I would say the same thing. I think tight end, we need more competition. We have Tyler Croft from Buffalo. We have Chris Herndon, who we know needs competition. That dude needs to be pushed. So I would agree. I would say that competition at the tight end position is a little bit more needed than the running back position. I still want to draft a running back, though, and I just don't want people to I don't want people to get it twisted. I want a running back that has explosive speed. I want somebody that can really take the top off of a defense. Sean Bennett is complimenting me. I'm pretty sure. He says, John, my friend is very fluent in Webster's English. I am a teacher, sir. That is what I do. All right. We talked about some dreams. I said that I laid like basically like a little...
I want to go again.
Go. We got a couple. We're going to talk about this for a while. Chat, if you could do the same thing, let us know what your draft night dreams are. Like, what would be something that would make your dream come true on draft night? Before you go, Wicked, welcome back, dude. We haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back to the show. We appreciate it. And then Sean Bennett says running back in the 4th. I say no earlier than the 3rd round. I'm cool with it in the 3rd. Anything later is just fine. Mike, go.
I really think my dream is that we get, more than likely, we draft Zach or Justin. And I know we have a chat that's very, very co-ed when it comes to both of those. We get one of those quarterbacks, and then I really think the Niners, the Falcons, and the Lions could really mess up this draft in that first top 10 picks, in which case I'm just calling it now. I think one of those top talent receivers, whether it's Kyle, whether it's Devonta, whether it's Jamar, I see someone dropping. I don't know how far they drop, but I feel like someone could drop, because if Trey Lance and Mac go high or higher, and then maybe what the current mocks were saying,
I think they're going to
drop in.
I think all 4 quarterbacks are going to go in the top 10. I don't think there's any doubt.
So someone's going to drop, right? Someone's going to drop. Now, is it going to be Penny? Is it going to be, Christian Darrisaw? Someone's dropping. In which case, that 23rd pick, to Chad's point, is definitely part of the dream. Chad, I give you a lot of credit for starting with the 23rd as your basis for a dream draft, because the 2's pretty much locked. I mean, if the 2 doesn't go our way, then it's a nightmare draft. That's my honest opinion. If the 2 doesn't, if they don't bite on the 2 and get a quarterback, I think it's going to be a rough night for us. But if they do pull the trigger on the quarterback, which we honestly think that's what they're going to do, I think that 23rd pick can really, if they use it right, and the odds or the fates or the destiny works our way, you could definitely be in the dream scenario. It's not out of the likelihood. So I think to me, grabbing Zach and grabbing a top talent, offensive talent like that would be a dream. Now, I know a lot of people want to go line with that pick. I get that. I'm not saying that's not what they should do or what they will do. But if you got one of those receivers dropping, I mean, I don't know. I think that's a real conversation at that point.
And it's so cool that you say that, because later we're going to be talking about wide receiver. We have not talked about wide receiver in a long time, and I do think that it's worth talking about. Just because we are going to be drafting a quarterback at 2. One of my dreams, and sorry, Chad, you're next. My bad. Next dream for you, sir. You got another dream in this draft?
Well, I did see, there's a lot of mocks going around this time of year. I did see and I wish I remember the name of it. I saw it on Twitter the other day. A crazy trade scenario where we trade with the Falcons trade with us. We trade our late 1st round pick back up, and we end up with Kyle Pitts. Now, I know that's
like that.
Right. And I know that's crazy, because we would be sacrificing late round capital, but just the idea of matching Wilson and Pitts is just it's like a Madden dream come true.
It's porn for Jets fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wait. So let me get that though. I thought you said, are we trading up with the Falcons with the 23rd and 34th? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I think in that scenario we packaged that and then moved obviously back up into the first round.
I'm telling you that. I got you. I thought you were saying that we were trading the second down with the Falcons to take Kyle rather than taking a quarterback. That's my bad.
No, it's both. If I find, I'll go back and look to see who posted that, and then I'll link it. It was one of the guys in one of the Jets blogs.
All right, I'm gonna go through a couple more of my dreams here. So I would like the draft to lean offense for once in a long time. I would like us to spend early and premium picks on the offensive side of the ball. Whether that's using just one pick early on a cornerback maybe. And then just kind of going heavy offense, like getting some linemen, getting some running backs, getting some receivers, quarterback, obviously. I would just love to see us go a little bit, like neglect the defense just for once. Just stop drafting those defensive tackles. Don't do it this time. Wait till next season. I would love some true aggression to really make this offense click and to make it explode, because that's what we all want to see. We all want to see some offensive fireworks. Go ahead.
You want the 2009, 2010 Jets. That's what you want.
With a little bit more passing, yes. Yep. Sean Bennett agrees. Sean, he's saying build around Zach. Absolutely. Got to build around Zach and Justin Fields if we draft him, which I don't think we're going to do.
We
got somebody new to the chat. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm going to give him a little...
Vern?
No, Vern. Welcome to the show, my man. Lots of late value for O-line rounds 3 through 5. Excuse me. Yeah, there's value at offensive line. There's value at the cornerbacks position. Maybe not so late in the 5th round, but there's some really good corners in those mid rounds too. I'm very intrigued to see what happens with the offensive line. That's actually one of my other dreams, is that Joe Douglas drafts more than 2 or more offensive linemen in this draft. I think that if he only takes 1, I think I might be a little bit disappointed.
I think, I don't know. I guess you would say that even if he nails. So, okay, let's say we take Zach at 2, right? Let's say he takes the one that you're talking about at 23, right? At 34, let's say he goes. Well, I'm not going to say he goes Najee because no one likes that, but let's say he nails a defensive player at 34, which was pretty much our consensus during the last mock. He nails a tight end, and I think because how many 3rd round picks do we have? We have 2. Let's say he grabs a tight end at that second 3rd round pick. I don't know. I feel like if he takes 1, he has to nail all the other picks, and I don't think that guarantees that it's going to be a bad draft.
No, I really think they need to get 2. That's really all I'm saying. I think that what I had mentioned in my dream is like, since there are 5 starters at that position, it's not like wide receiver, you need 2 starting wide receivers. It's not like running back, you need 1 starting running back.
Sure.
5 starting offensive linemen on the team. And if you do not invest in starters in the draft and getting developmental players in the draft, I think that's where you get kicked in the ass.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Let's keep swinging at some offensive linemen in the 6th round and the 5th round, and just keep developing them. We took Cameron Clark in the 4th round last year. He didn't play a snap last year. I'm okay with that. Yeah. I'm okay with that. I mean, I would have been nice to see him play a game or 2 last year, but we have somebody that's been with the franchise for a year. And now he's got a year of experience in coaching, and now he's going to be able to apply that to this new scheme.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
Chad would like that. Chad's a lifelong Mangold fan.
Sean Bennett does agree with you, Mike. He says tight end at 66 is what he's feeling. And Robbie Oak says, "Why the hell do we park on the driveway but drive on the parkway?"
Hey, Sean Bennett, I'm gonna wherever you at, man. I'm gonna find you. We're gonna have a beer together because Sean and I have been vibing on our box lately. So
Wow. That's
I'm
interesting.
asking you out on a date.
Yeah. Mike's excited over here. He just leveled up. Any dreams that you guys want to talk about?
No, let's go to the nightmares. That's where the fun is.
I still have a couple more dreams. I wrote a lot of notes.
Oh, wait, let me go there. I thought I was delaying the stream. Actually, no, you go. I gotta find where my next one is.
I also said that trading back whenever it's possible and whenever it's going to help us accrue more future draft capital. If we can move back from 23, let's say, to like 29 or 30 and pick up a couple of extra mid-round picks, I think that's worth it. I think a lot of Jets fans aren't really ready for that kind of trade back, and it's going to piss them off. But I think that Joe Douglas very well might move back from 23 into the late first or the early second round, and I think that kind of trade is very, very worth it. And I think that that's one of my dream scenarios. If we move back to 30, we're going to have pick 30, we're going to have pick 34, and we're going to have whatever we got in a trade back. And that is spectacular. Gets my sauce all warm.
I actually have one where I don't want to say that technically I got it worked out on how it worked. My bad, Chad. But mine is, I don't know how I honestly feel about CJ Mosley, given the situation and given history. And I almost feel like if you could switch him out, I'm looking at Michelle's comment.
Yeah.
If you could package the 23rd pick with Mosley and switch him out with take your pick, in terms of that top first round talent, would you be interested in that? Like, is that at all interesting? I mean, CJ could be great still. That's a real gamble.
Are you asking?
I'm just saying. I mean, I have it noted here, like packaging CJ Mosley with the 23rd pick, and if that got you hired, would you take that? Whether it's 2 spots higher, whether it's maybe 5.
No.
Okay. All right.
It depends on the compensation.
Yeah, I don't think people are going to be interested in Mosley. He hasn't played in a very, very long time. What kind of compensation could you expect to get back for somebody that's coming off of an injury, who's coming off of a year of not doing anything? And that's not a knock on CJ Mosley. I'm hoping for him to be really good. I just don't think anybody's going to be interested in trading for him. Let's see. So Wicked posted a pretty cool comment. He said, to be honest, before my father's passing in high school, I didn't follow football, but after he passed away when I was in high school, I've been trying to get into it because of him. To this point, I'm still learning the ropes. Dude, learn a little football with us. We appreciate the honesty.
Is Wicked new? I don't recognize it. Has he been here before?
Oh yeah, he's been here before. Yep.
Oh, what's going on, Wicked?
Yep, and we appreciate the comment. Definitely stick around, learn a little football. We definitely talk a lot of football, as you know. Sean Bennett says, "You guys, there's a possibility if J.C. Horn falls to 23. I don't see it."
But that's interesting. If J.C. Horn's there, and it's between that and let's say,
you take J.C. Horn.
Yeah, that's no question.
You can't pass up on it. So like at that point, it's too good of a value. He is literally like the number 2 or number 3 cornerback in the draft.
Let's say Darrisaw drops. I mean, what are you going to do then?
I would pass. I would take. He's probably
the only,
say again.
So you would still stick with JC. I mean, I'm not arguing his talent. I'm just saying when you were saying you want them to build an offensive squad, right? And right. I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, you know where I'm going with that.
I was just going to say, if they take a corner at 23, spend the next bunch of picks, go tight end, offensive line, running back, wide receiver, go heavy offense right after that. And I'm okay with ignoring the defense, basically, after we get a corner on the squad. So, yeah, that's how I take it. And I just don't see it as a possibility. I don't think J.C. Horn falls. I think he's going to go early teens, late teens, in that range. I don't see him going any farther.
Who do you think falls? Someone's falling. It always happens.
That's a good question. I mean, yes, somebody will fall. I don't know, dude. It's like picking a lottery ticket.
I watch you put these videos out. I watch each of your videos. There's no way you don't have an idea of who's falling. I don't believe that.
There's a lot of people that think that the guard that Chad mentioned earlier.
Wyatt Davis.
No. Vera Tucker. I was thinking of
Oh,
actually. He's very, very good, and I think there are some people who think he's not going to make it to 23. I think he could.
They got Tevin over. Some mocks have Tevin over Vera Tucker.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. I think that he could fall, especially if a couple of defensive players get picked early. I could see him falling to 20.
I think you're playing poker. I don't think you want to show your cards.
Okay.
I think that's what's going on here.
I'm going to go to the chat. J.E., he says, yes, I want outside linebackers Zaven Collins or Jalen Phillips, opposite of Lawson, the new sack exchange. He says, O-line. He says, at 34, go O-line or cornerback. If we take a defender at 23 and we take another defender at 34, that's a nightmare. You can't. We have to supply our quarterback.
Look at Robbie O. Look at Robbie O's comment.
Yeah, he said trading back, not taking him at 23.
Let me reread it.
Wicked says, Mike, I just wish I could contribute more to the conversation as to who we should draft. All I know is that watching Sam play made me sick, and we need to draft a quarterback number 2 pick. Dude, it's not a problem. If you are still learning about the draft, trust me, if it were a regular year and I wasn't on a YouTube channel like I've been doing the last couple of months, I wouldn't know half the shit that I know. It's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, Wicked. No, we're happy to have you in the chat, man. And we're on the journey together. We're gonna go through the ups and downs, and I think that's what makes this channel so special. I never thought we would be at this point where we got so many people chiming in, and I think this is awesome. Yeah, but I do want to point out Sean Bennett's next comment, which is if Vera Tucker's there, he says to take Vera Tucker.
If he falls at 23, I'm taking him all day.
Well, let's say J.C. Horn and Vera Tucker are there. I know you don't think that's a realistic scenario. I get that. Don't get out of the question. I'm not letting you out. Which is,
I would take J.C. Horn.
So you're still sticking with Horn, okay? I give you props.
I honestly want to rip that Band-Aid off. I feel like the sooner we take a cornerback in the draft, the sooner I can be like, all right, let's move on. Let's go to offense. It's like you just want to get it over with.
I heard you, Chad. What do you think?
Well, right. I do think J.C. Horn at 23, if that happens, which we don't think it will, but I think all three of us and most people are in agreement that you go O-line at 23, and then you go next best available corner at 34. Right?
You would take Vera Tucker.
Well, no. If J.C. Horn's available at 23, I'm taking him. I just don't think he will be.
He won't be. He will not be.
But,
it's a pipe dream.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. But if Vera Tucker and J.C. Horn are there, you're taking J.C. Horn, the both of you.
Yes.
Okay. I would because I think that it's not one of those situations where we would be reaching on a cornerback. We would be taking a very, very good cornerback with a really high upside. I would love it, man. I would love it. It would be fantastic. So Robbie Oak says, I just think keep it simple at 23. Protect the quarterback, which is most important. He says, grab AVT or Creed. He says, Creed, please, in parentheses. And then he says, grab Mela Funwu at 34 who plays cornerback. I'm cool with that. Dude, you won't hear me cry one bit. If we take an offensive line at 23 and then take a corner at 34, we're perfect. We are good to go. Grant Rude. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said, you'll cry, trust me.
No, I will not. Grant Rude says there are less top-end cornerbacks available. O-line is deep, and starters will be available in the late third round. And that does go back to what Vern, I believe, was what he said. It may have been somebody else, but somebody had talked about how there was going to be, really good talent in that third to fifth round for offensive line. So that's the other reason why you take that corner early, in my opinion. All right.
Well, D. Milner, that's all I need to say.
D. Milner, yeah, that was a thing, but there's busts at every position. It doesn't matter who it is. All righty. I don't think
Hold on, real quick. I don't think the Jets have drafted a bust O lineman. If they have drafted, I can't remember a time where they took a lineman and it turned out to be a bust.
Oh, they did in the second round during the Tannenbaum era. I can't even remember.
No, no. I'm not
Vladimir Dukas.
Vladimir
I'm not talking about
Dukas.
Vlad.
Let's do a little.
I'm talking. No. Let me finish my point. I'm saying when the Jets drafted a lineman in the first round, that lineman never turned out to be a bust. But when they have drafted a corner or any defensive position, we have many busts on the defensive side of the house. Vernon Golston, E. Milner, Quentin Copols. But on the offensive side, D'Brickashaw, not a bust. So there is something to say there. There is something. I'm not talking about second round. Vlad doesn't count.
But how often has that happened?
That's true.
After 2006.
I'll give you that. But that wasn't about that, Chad. It was about me winning the argument.
That's actually a good. We should go back and look. What was the last first round O lineman taken prior to 2006?
Chad agrees with me.
Oh, Robbie Oak, he said point for Mike. He's giving you a point. I think he's just doing a sympathy point.
No,
Sean Bennett does say that safer. He says O-line are safer picks that high, and
right.
He says truth. All right, you're getting kudos tonight, Mike.
I need Grant Root. I need Grant Root to chime in because Grant Root is my arch nemesis, and if he agrees with me, then I'm on to something.
All right, we have talked about our dreams. We're now going to go to the dark side, brothers. It's going to get a little spooky, a little scary. What are your nightmare situations on draft night? I have to say, I slept. Yeah, Chad's going to go first. I did not sleep good after having that nightmare that we passed on a quarterback at number 2. That was a very uncomfortable feeling, and that's where this came from. So, Chad, why don't you go? What is one of your nightmares for draft night?
Well, this is a serious thing. So months ago, a rumor came out that Zach Wilson's dad had something against the Jets, and he was radically against Zach going to the Jets. Well, all indications are obviously that's going to happen. So my current nightmare is that we see some sort of reverse Eli Manning scenario, and it doesn't work out, and Zach Wilson ends up getting traded on draft night to the Patriots.
Oh.
And the rest is history.
Jesus, that is a nightmare. All right, Mike, nightmare. I need to hear it. What's one of your nightmares?
I would definitely say, I think my biggest nightmare is I kind of showed my cards there early, which is we trade back. We play this. We get really cautious. The front office is nervous because we're coming off of a 2-win season. We have a history of drafting bad. Everyone's on edge. Woody's back to whatever capacity he's back. We play it really safe. We trade back. We don't take a quarterback. We take, I don't know. There's a draft that's in my mind that I can't pinpoint where we traded back and we played it really safe and we didn't do anything. To me, a nightmare is if we don't take a quarterback in the first round. That's essentially what I'm saying.
Okay, so just not even taking a quarterback would be your nightmare. Yeah. I did a throwback, so you guys probably remember this. This was the early 2000s. It was the Mike Tice-led Minnesota Vikings. They let the clock expire. Do you guys remember this?
Yes.
So the Vikings were on the clock. It was ticking. It goes all the way to 0. And when it went to 0, it just went to the next team. They got skipped. And I don't know if it's ever happened in NFL history prior to that or after that. I don't think it has. But if something crazy like that happened, just like a fluky thing, I just think that would be so embarrassing.
What is the rule protocol on a draft timer that expires? I don't think I've ever looked at it.
I told you. It just goes to the next team.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, dude.
And when you get skipped, you can turn in your card as soon as you want, but you need to get it in quick, though, because those other teams can leapfrog you.
My God. Can you imagine?
So that's
we
one
don't
of
find out. We don't want to find out what that scenario is.
That's a nightmare for every year. That's not unique to this draft. That's
just draft night nightmare.
Before you turn it back over to me, what is one of your nightmares related just to this draft, like not due to protocol?
So if they draft a running back at 23 or 34, that's a nightmare. No, thank you. No, thank you.
I can't remember. I think it was.
Sean Bennett. I have no year what that. I have no idea. I want to say like 2002 or 3, something like that. Oh God! If they draft a running back at 23 or 34, that's going to be a problem. I mean, sure, it'll look good. It'll be sexy. Like everybody's gonna be like, oh, Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, woohoo! But we got to address some positions. I mean, we got to address our offensive line. We've got to address the cornerback position. It doesn't matter, dude. I don't care. I also have a red light shining on my face. That might be part of the reason. I'll have to tone it back. He says I look like I was in a tanning. I got in a fight with a tanning bed. Oh my God. I said that if they traded back to draft Mac Jones or Trey Lance, I also said that would be a nightmare. That's not a knock on them because a lot of people like them.
They could be fine. It would be disappointing now because we have so much hype and we have so much. Think about the interview you did with X Factor. Think about the chats. Different opinions on Fields. I think if it's not Fields or Wilson, and the only other quarterback that I would entertain where it wouldn't be a disappointment is Trevor. I think if it's Mac or Trey, I think it would be such a shock, man.
It'd be a disappointment.
I don't want to take away from the talent. I mean, Mahomes was in that boat. Do you remember having a lot of hype for Mahomes when he was coming out? I don't recall that hype. I mean, there was people who were talking about his talent. I'm not saying that, but I can't remember the hype being there like it is for this class.
I mean, that was a pretty good one. They had Deshaun Watson in that one, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's 2 top 3 quarterbacks right there in the NFL. I mean, it was a pretty good class.
But you say that now. I'm talking like you.
Sure, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I would still be disappointed. That's where the nightmare comes from. It's just I wouldn't be happy. I would feel incomplete if we took one of those guys.
I'm going to ask you something, and it's a Jets channel, always be a Jets channel, but I have to ask you because I really think the one team that can really screw this draft up is 49ers, right? The Niners really could set the tone for a lot of things. Now, presumably they're going to go quarterback, just like the Jets are presumably.
They're going to take a quarterback.
But if they... who would you take at number 3? That's basically. I just want to get your quick opinion on it.
If they're taking Zach Wilson, I'm taking Justin Fields, and if we take Justin Fields, they should take Zach Wilson.
But if Jimmy's on the roster, you still think they take Justin?
Yes.
Or do you think they trade him on the clock?
They're not going to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. They've already said they're going to keep him. They want him on the team for this season.
Okay.
Yeah, and they are going to take a quarterback. They've already said it. Like they've literally said we're taking a quarterback. So they know what's happening ahead of them. That's what we talked about, that stuff for sure. Like they know what's going to happen ahead of them at 1 and 2, and that's why they pulled the trigger. I think it's Justin Fields. I think when it's all said and done, I think the dust will settle. It's going to be Trevor, Zach, and Justin. And I think that's awesome. That's some really good quarterback talent coming off. So yeah.
It's been a while since you had a 3-in-a-row quarterback draft like that. I mean, I can't recall. I mean, the only one that comes to mind is the 2002 with Ben Roethlisberger. That maybe would be the last.
Top 3.
Yeah.
Vern's disagreeing with me. He says 49ers are going to take Lil Mac. They could. I just think they should take Fields. That's my approach on it. I think they should take Fields. I think that would be crazy. I think he has so much potential, and I think that he would fit that team, and they have a lot of talent around him. They could develop him. He could be really special in San Francisco. Let's see. Wicked comes in with his nightmare. Good job. Thank you, sir. He says, I guess my nightmare would be that we pick a quarterback and we take the wrong guy, i.e., we get Trubisky and miss out on Watson or Mahomes. Ah, great post, great comment. That would be awful. I can't even imagine how the Bears fans feel.
The problem, and of course, at some point, the draft is a crapshoot for everybody. But the problem with that is that no one could blame us for taking Wilson or Fields at 2. So
Sure.
if we go back to 2018, right? Nobody can say at this point, nobody can have revisionist history and say, well, you should not have taken Darnold at 3 that year, because everybody thought Darnold was going 1, 2, or 3 that year.
Yep.
He just didn't happen to pan out the way that we had all hoped. So, for me, where the real crapshoot comes in later. So at 23, if you go D line, as opposed to O line there, if you go interior D line, that's where things become problematic.
Yep, I agree. All right, cool. Any other nightmares you guys want to share? I got a couple more.
Penei Sewell at number 2.
Oh, okay, good. So that would be a nightmare. That would be a nightmare. Holy moly, would that be a nightmare?
Well, and I would just say, alluding to what I just said. So let's say we get to draft night. Joe Douglas has some sort of out of body experience, some sort of a panic attack. Doesn't know what he's going to do at 23, so he calls Mike Tannenbaum for advice, and Mike Tannenbaum says, "Hey, you got to take the next best available D tackle." And we end up taking a D tackle. He's like, "You got to do that because that's what you got to do in every draft." And then we take some D tackle at 23. At that point, that's nightmare scenarios.
Stupid.
And that is what I have I have that on my paper. I said if we took a D tackle at any point in the draft, I think that's a waste of a pick. We have so much defensive line talent and depth.
I agree. I want to touch on Chad's nightmare, which is if you get it wrong. And that is the nightmare. I mean, obviously, you could say for O'Brien versus Marino. I mean, but I don't know. I think Chad was alluding to it. I don't know if you really could say that's the nightmare. It's really what we do with it, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm not really, I don't consider myself a regretful person, right? I mean, it's easy to say that. Hindsight is 2020. And that's where whoa, John, I mean, that goes back to our second stream, when we talked about the front office. And Chad, you were in there, you were in incognito under your alias name, and we were talking about it. And, if we get it wrong, then I'm blaming the front office and I'm blaming the scouts. And I've had a bone to pick with our scouting crew for quite a many amount of years. Probably since Darrelle Revis has been drafted, I've had a problem with our scouting crew, to be honest with you. So I don't really, if we get it wrong, I don't look at the draft as in like, oh, the Jets. I mean, Vernon Golson was different. Because no one agreed with the pick for Vernon. No one agreed with that pick.
I don't much as I'm a bozo for.
We all did. Were we not all watching that draft together? If you
no, that was Darrelle Revis draft.
We watched the draft because I remember we had a 30-pack. What was that stuff? Oh God, Natural Light.
Light.
Natty Light. We got somebody. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not saying we didn't like it because we were intoxicated at the time, and 2, we were all over his 34 reps in the combine for 225. That's his muscles. He was like Thomas Jones, only 3 feet taller. Like it was nuts.
We needed him. So that was why they took him. They needed a pass.
I was gonna say that if we get it wrong, it's not because we didn't make the best pick at the time based on what we knew. It's because of our front office. I'm just gonna say it right now.
All right, chat's heating up. I want to get to a couple of situations. Let's see. I missed it. Sean Bennett says, a nightmare would be if the Patriots trade up and grab Fields if he slips.
Yeah.
That would be very scary. Yes,
Ooh, that's
they
a
would
good
have
one. That's a good one.
they would have to trade up for him, but that would be awful. Robbie Oak says, I do not like Tannenbaum, so we have upset him. We've upset his stomach by bringing this up. Salmon Jet 718, we have not seen you for a while. Welcome back to the channel, dude. It's great to see you. He says, is Tevin Jenkins available at 23? We are going to do our mock draft pretty soon, probably within the next 20, 30 minutes or so. So stick around. We are glad to have you. Let's see. Robbie Oak comes in with a really cool comment. He says, I will blame JD if Wilson is the pick and it doesn't work out, but I wouldn't call for his job. He has to go for these things. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, there's still a lot of speculation on what we're even, what's going to happen with the rest of the draft after we do take our quarterback. I don't think I have any other nightmares. The only other thing go ahead.
I'd like to get a call in on this topic before we roll to the next one. Chat. If anyone's feeling gutsy or feeling frisky, who would like to come into the Thunderdome with
the number
with the CPSNY with John Jay and myself. I'll be gentle on you though, so really I'll leave it to John and Chad to tear you apart. But I think it would be great to get a caller in on this.
Yep. Well, we'll wait and see. We got the screen rolling. We got the number at the top. Just one last thing I was going to say. Any kind of massive trade up would be a nightmare. I think that would be a mistake. As much as I love Pitts, I think it would be a mistake to trade up for a guy like him because you're giving up a ton of draft capital. And I feel like that's what Joe Douglas has fought for so much. So I don't see it happening, but it would be a nightmare if we did spend like all of our mid-round picks and future first-round picks and things like that to trade up. I just think that would be a big mistake. All right. We are not talking dreams and nightmares anymore. We're going to stick with reality now. And we're going to do one more topic before we get to the mock draft. This is a personal topic that I came up with, and I just feel like it's worth discussing because I don't think a lot of people are talking about it, and I could see something happening on draft day that maybe surprises us. Kind of Mike alluded to it earlier. I think the wide receiver position is something worth discussing, especially in this draft. I wrote down, could the New York Jets surprise us all and take a wide receiver early in the NFL draft? And I said, would this be a move that is in the best interest of Justin Fields or Zach Wilson? And I just said that we have to consider and keep in mind that Jamison Crowder is on the last year of his contract. We have to keep in mind that Keelan Cole is on a 1-year contract. So we're a little bit thin after this year at the wide receiver position. So it would not shock me if we drafted somebody maybe a little bit earlier than we expected. And so I just kind of wanted to hear what you guys thought about it, and I'll give my own personal take on it. Why don't you go first, Mike?
And then are you saying parameters? Are we talking taking receivers throughout the entire draft, or are you just taking top?
What are your thoughts if they take one early? Like let's say like the second round or 23. How would you they took a receiver really early?
As long as it doesn't augment our approach to the number 2 pick, I think if the talent is there, particularly on the 23rd pick, I'd take it only for the fact that our wide receiver crew it's room temperature at best. I mean, I'm not saying that the ceiling. I'm not saying that the ceiling for them to progress and the cohesion isn't there or could be there. I'm just saying that bringing in an asset and an investment at the number 2 spot, you want to protect that asset, which is where the 34th pick comes in my opinion. Or obviously a lot of us would say Creed Humphrey or Tevin Jenkins at the 23rd could be a reality as well. But I think it all comes down to the theme, which is what Chad has said, which is what you've said, John. Chad's alluded to it, which is build around the quarterback, right? That's protecting him, yes. Protecting the quarterback, building the wall. I'm Grant. I'm preaching to you right now. Building the wall. I'm totally with you. We need receivers to throw to, right? Like if we're on a 3-year plan with Robert, right? And I asked that question in the chat during your interview with DJ. if he's on a 3-year plan in terms of patience and the New York media and the expectations that the world has on the Jets to turn it around and actually become a franchise that is legitimate, because I don't think we're considered a legitimate franchise right now. I think we're considered a joke. A lot of the media that I watch, I think if there is a team on the if there are teams on the chopping block to go to London, I think it's the Jags, which is why they have to draft Trevor. It's the Jets, even though the Jets pull in a ton of revenue. We don't have any credibility. Which is unfortunate. And so, you can't protecting quarterbacks is really important, but there's a ton of games between now and the 22 draft where a lot of our next draft picks are. And I think you do need to add some spice to the recipe to get some traction, or else we're going to be talking about, well, the Jets did 8-8. Maybe we get to 8-8. Maybe we get 7 games. How did the Jets media feel about Robert? Is that good enough? Was that not good enough?
Did you answer the question? Would you take a receiver early?
I did. I said.
What did you say?
I said yes, and I say that because I think there's an overwhelming presence to take a lineman at the 23rd, unless J.C. Horn's there. And I get why you would want to take a lineman. I'm not opposed to taking a lineman, which is to protect the asset, but you can't just protect him. He has to produce as well. And is he going to produce with Denzel Mims? Is he going to produce with with Herndon and Crowder and the other talent that we have? And I think adding a little bit of spice to the recipe, I think that's my metaphor, my analogy I'm going to give, is not a bad idea. I don't think that's. I think if it's between protecting the quarterback or giving him a tool, I don't think that either of those choices are bad. So I would go with I would be fine, like, especially if it's Devonta or I don't know. It would also depend on the talent for me. But if you got one of those top 10 picks dropping, I would definitely be open to that. That would definitely be my pick.
All right, before you go, Chad, I'm going to let you go after this. There's just a bunch of chat going on right now, so I want to get to it. So Grant Rude came in and said, wide receiver is tough to judge. Mims, Crowder, Davis, Cole. Slot wide receivers this year are plentiful. I could see Crowder's replacement taken as early as the 3rd round, and I do have a mock draft coming out, a 7-round Jets mock draft coming out this weekend. I do take a slot wide receiver in the mid-rounds. It's not an early pick. I'm not saying I'm in favor of taking a wide receiver early. It's just worth discussing because I think that could be maybe a surprise that we don't see coming. Maybe Joe Douglas, is betting on himself to be able to find some offensive linemen, maybe mid-rounds, late rounds, because he has a background in offensive line. So maybe he vies for offensive weapons like Mike was talking about and kind of goes off on his experience of offensive line and finding some people later on in the draft. Chad, what do you think?
So the simple answer is if I'm Joe Douglas, am I taking a wide receiver at 23 or 34? No. But if it happens, could I justify it? Yes. And here's the reason why. We love Denzel Mims, but we can't yet say that he's proven. I have to be probably the biggest fan of Crowder, but I don't know what the future holds for him. Outside of that, yes, Corey Davis was a great signing, but he's still just one receiver. Now, if you look at the past literally 3 or 4 years, and I hate this topic, but injuries have been plaguing.
Yeah.
So when I start looking at the second and third string wide receivers, and we're talking about your Josh Doxsons and your Lawrence Cagers and your Braxton Berrios, okay?
Yeah.
That's when I start thinking about the lack of depth that we have there. So were a Kadarius Toney to be taken at 23, or our guy Terrace Marshall Jr. Okay,
I love Kadarius
34. I could see it happen. I could justify the case for it. It's not the first choice, but I could justify the case for it.
Yeah.
So I don't think Marshall and Toney would do it for me though. So I want to caveat my statement. Like it would have to be a premier talent. Yeah, it would have to be primo. I mean, Robbie put it in the chat, which I think he meant sarcastically, which I get. If Jamar has never fallen to 23, I mean, we would really have to see something unprecedented for that to happen. It would need to be like an Aaron Rodgers type of event for that to happen. But I'm just saying, if it is there, because this is I'm going along the same theme of, you know, if it's JC or if it's Vera Tucker. This is, to me, if you're given a 2-horse race or a 3-horse race, Vera Tucker, JC, and Jamar, or JC, you know, Vera Tucker and Devonta, you know, there's a real conversation that's never going to happen. That never would happen. But if one of them do fall, you need to be prepared for that. And I don't think any of those is a bad pick. To Chad's point, I think, is it what we would do in that moment? Maybe, maybe not. But can you justify it? Yes. And I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you guys were all willing to talk about it. That's all I really feel about it. I just feel like it's worth discussing because maybe it's one of those surprise picks that we weren't expecting. Maybe a receiver, I could see that. So there's a bunch of chat. Gumball came in with a couple of really good comments. He said, if Bateman is available at 23, would you take him? I do have a video of him on the channel, Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota. He reminds me a lot of Denzel Mims. He reminds me a lot of Corey Davis. I would have a hard time passing on him, but I think I would. I would pass on him at 23. But he's super talented and really, really good. I actually think I have him going to the Ravens right now. I think he'd be awesome for the Ravens. Salmon Jets mentioned Lawrence Cager. He's working hard this offseason. But he says we need to compete. We need to get some more competition in here. I think that's what he's kind of referring to there. Robbie Oak says too many needs to be filled at to take a wide receiver at 23. Could have had more picks, but we are keeping 2 and going quarterback. So we can't take a quarterback and do a quick build in 1 year. People scream quarterback more important. Yeah. All right. Salmon says, if AVT or Tevin are available at 23, I'd pull the trigger. I think Creed Humphrey can be taken at 34. And then he says, maybe. Gumball, he says, day 3 pick, who reminds me of Tyreek Hill, is Anthony Schwartz. And yes, he's out of Auburn. I was watching a little bit of him last night before I did my mock draft. Tons and tons of speed. He can move and he can fly. Yeah, Robbie Oak says, yeah, if Jamar Chase is falling at 23, I'm taking him at 23. Let's see. All right, I think we're all pretty good and caught up here. So I'll just throw a couple of thoughts in here for the wide receiver thing. I just said that there's a big drop-off after those top receivers go. Right. There's going to be a big fall-off, I would say, after round 2 for the wide receiver.
Right.
So you're going to see a big drop-off, kind of like a cliff. You're just going to see a lot of drop in the talent. That's kind of why I thought maybe Joe Douglas will say, okay, well, O-line's pretty deep. Cornerback's pretty deep. Let me go get my quarterback.
It's like what you said, John. You know, there's five offensive lineman starters. You know, there's potentially 3 to 4 starting wide receivers too. But you got Corey Davis, you got Denzel Mims, you got Crowder. So, you know, that your point is well taken there as well. It's like, where is your starters the weakest, right? And I'm not saying, and I don't know, there's different perspectives on the line. But I think to Chad's point, I'm not 100% sold on all of our wide receiver talent. In which case, it really comes down to who's there and doesn't make sense at that point. So it's very complicated for me. And I don't know if I'm communicating it as well as I would hope I would, but I'm not ruling it out. I'm just thinking it depends on the talent. It depends on where the draft is at that point, and also who's there from a lineman perspective, and according to the chat, if JC Horn is there, which will be, if any of that happens, this is going to be one hell of a draft. I'll just say that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I'm with it. If you are with it, who is ready for a mock draft?
Let's do it.
So I am going to just really quickly preface this before we start. I'm going to be that weirdo. So if you have not hit the like button on this video, we got about 20 people in here right now. Hit the like button. If you have not subscribed and you're watching this after the stream, or if you're watching it right now and you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you guys on a week-to-week. And the other thing I just want to mention here is the mock draft is what's up, Dimple Toys? He's back at that. What I was gonna say is this draft is going to be a specifically QB friendly mock draft. Because I have a lot of diehards for Justin Fields, I'm actually thinking we will take Justin Fields. It is, well, we'll see. I'll let you guys decide. We'll do a vote on it. But anyway,
chat decides, man.
Yeah, chat decides. You're right. So anyway, we're gonna make it a QB friendly draft. We would like to still take defensive players, but we want to make sure that we hit on positions of need on the offensive side of the ball. So there's not going to be a whole lot of drafted depth for the defense. What's up, Dimple Toys? He says, hi, guys.
Dimple.
So anyway, we're going to get started. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to do the Jets, 7 rounds, fast. And I'm going to share my screen with everybody. Let me get that first. And then we are good to go. Sorry, a couple of buttons. I know, not the smoothest. There we go. There it is. All right, and I got to pull up the Skyper. Official loyal New York Jets fans, what is going on? How we doing, folks? We're doing a mock draft, bro. We just started. If you guys are not following official loyal New York Jets fans, he's on Instagram. He's also on Twitter as well. This dude's an awesome follow. And I'm pretty sure, you can correct me if I'm wrong, sir, but he gets a lot of signings. He gets like events where players come and they'll do signings. Mike and Chad, can you confirm? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
I can see it.
All right, great. So I'm going to shrink this down. We are going to start with our mock draft, and we're going to select the Jets, and we're ready to roll. Let's draft. Let's click the button this time, making sure it works. There we go. All right, fellas. Trevor Lawrence is gone. The Jets are on the clock. What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Chad, you go.
We're going Fields, right?
I'm cool with taking Fields for tonight. We took him. We've taken him every draft. We've taken Zach Wilson every draft.
Man. Is straight fire in the chat? He better not be. He'll smack both of you.
No, he's not in there.
Deli.
Fabio says Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts.
He's my favorite name in the whole draft. All right, Dimple Toys puts a vote in for Wilson. I'm gonna need to hear some voices in the chat. I'm getting
I second
over here.
I second Dimple.
Well, Dimple Toys says Wilson. Vern says Wilson. Sean Bennett says Wilson. It's a unanimous. I can't say no to this chat. I wanted to maybe put out a different draft scenario, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to not waste time. We're going to go ahead and select our quarterback, Zach Wilson out of BYU. He is the quarterback for the New York Jets. That's how I feel, Grant Rude. He says every mock has Wilson at 2. What's the point of the exercise if things don't change? Exactly. Now I will say you can just paint a pretty picture in your mind and just pretend that Wilson's the pick at 23, or excuse me, at 2. We're gonna reject trades. I'm not big on trades. You can't really project a trade. We're gonna reject most of those, if not all of them. Let's see. We have Elijah Vera Tucker went 22. Oh my God. Greg Newsome went 21. This is bad. Okay, so Travis Etienne went to the Bears. Rashad Bateman went to the football team. I don't see that happening. Mac Jones went to the Raiders.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's a little bit strange.
Where'd J.C. Horn go?
Yeah, we're going to... J.C. Horn went 10th overall. Patrick Surtain went to the Panthers. The Bengals took Jamar Chase, which is interesting. So the top 4 positions in this mock draft are quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, and Trey Lance. That's interesting. If the Falcons surprise us all and take a quarterback, I don't think that's ever happened. 4 in the first 4 picks.
I think the Marino draft. Draft.
No.
I don't know about that.
Marino fell.
But there was I think there was at least 3 quarterbacks in that draft in the top 4 picks.
You're talking about the 85 draft or 83 draft?
I don't know what year it was.
83, I believe.
You're older than me. You
They
know.
did not have 4 in the top 4. Anyway, Grant Rude does throw a comment in there. He says, I think Atlanta trades out of 4 or takes Pitts. He is my number 1 player outside of the quarterbacks. I think that would be an awesome pick for them. Even though they have a ton of weapons, I just feel like you they don't make players like Kyle Pitts. He can play wide receiver, for God's sake. He can play tight end. It's incredible. And Marino was drafted in 83. Along with Elway, Kenny O'Brien, a couple other dudes. But it was not the top 4. All right, guys. We're going to take a look at the board. We're going to see who's available at 23 overall. We will go position by position. Quarterback, there ain't nothing, and we're not interested. The best available running back is Javonte Williams out of North Carolina. Wide receiver, Terrence Marshall is available. Kadarius Toney is available. At tight end, we have Pat Freiermuth out of Penn State.
Nope.
The offensive tackle position, we've got Tevin Jenkins available. Samuel Cosme out of Texas. Wyatt Davis, the guard, is sitting there. Creed Humphrey, I believe, is there as well.
We're back to where we were last week, which was Creed versus Jenkins.
We're gonna look at the defense real quick, not too long. Kwity Paye is available. That's interesting. Jalen Phillips is available. Some people are very adamant that we should be taking him. Linebacker Jamin Davis is there. Zaven Collins is available. A lot of people seem to think that Zaven Collins is going to be like a top 15 pick, so I'd be surprised if he were there. Caleb Farley is there at 23.
I would go O-line over Caleb.
There's a lot of good players. I'm going to go ahead and put them all in the chat. Ones that I think should be considered.
Dimple Toys has spoken.
Say again?
Dimple Toys has spoken.
What did he say? Oh, he's saying Creed?
Creed.
Yeah, well, Sean Bennett says Pat Freiermuth.
At 34.
Oh, at 34. Okay.
Yeah, Sean likes the drama. He likes the dramatic effect. He goes, Pat.
Robbie Oak says a lot of people say pay at all costs if he's there at 23. Salmon says, man, I would panic as a GM. He says, now I know why some people pick kickers. Mark Orlando, I don't know if you've ever been to the channel, dude. Welcome to the show. If you have been here, I apologize.
Dude,
but welcome back.
I'm kind of with Solomon, dude. I've been watching a ton of Tevin Jenkins vids on YouTube. And, I talked about that one last week, John. That one to the 300 music, and it's got Leonidas' voice behind it. Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic video.
You have to send that to me. If you guys could do me a favor and jet up the like button on this real quick for me. If you're in the chat and you haven't hit the like button for us, we would greatly appreciate it. He says, what cornerbacks are available? Dude, they're right on the screen. Caleb Farley.
Let me just give you a preview. J.C. Horn's not there.
Yeah, he's not there. The best available is Caleb Farley and Afeta Melon-Fonwu. I don't know if I'm saying.
I need to ask someone in the chat a question, John, if that's okay. Can I have the floor? Vern. Is that name after Vernon Golston? I need to know because I've been thinking about it all chat, and I just need to know if you named your name after Vernon Golston. I just need to know that.
Well, Vern just said I'd try to trade back 3 or 4 spots, and I agree. We're not going to do that in this mock. I don't think, at least not at this pick. I guess we could propose a trade.
Wait. We got to hear from Chad. Chad.
Can we, going back to our earlier discussion, is there room to shake things up and take Kadarius Toney now at 23?
I'm not taking him there. There's too many other players I like, I think. I like Creed Humphrey. I really like Caleb Farley, even with the injury concern. I really like Tevin Jenkins. I'm all about Tevin Jenkins, Creed Humphrey, and Caleb Farley right now. I feel like that's the way we should be leaning.
Did Darisaw go to the Patriots? I think that's where he went. It's hard for me to see.
Darisaw. I don't think he's been drafted. Oh yeah, to the Patriots at 15.
Yeah.
Vern says no. Laugh my ass off.
Because
All right.
that's what Rex called Vern. He would call him Vern, I believe.
So Sean Bennett is saying let's take Tevin Jenkins. We're gonna go ahead and say it right now, guys. You can choose between Caleb Farley, Tevin Jenkins, Creed Humphrey, unless somebody else on the panel disagrees. Do you have another player you want to put on the list?
Yeah, let's hear it. Or you know what? Call in.
I was talking to you, asshole.
Oh,
I said, did you have another player you wanted to add to the list?
I'm on the O line. I don't like the other talent that I see for that pick.
What do you feel, Chad?
Realistically, I'd probably go Creed Humphrey here.
Okay. There's a lot of people that have talked about Humphrey. There's a lot of people that have talked about Tevin Jenkins as well.
I just love the anger that Tevin has. So that's.
I'm actually leaning towards Tevin right now. Actually, I feel like.
No, you switching cams.
I'm not cams.
Yeah, you were Creed. You came in last week. You were like, I'm the deal breaker. I'm the icebreaker. I'm gonna go Creed. That's what you did. I remember.
We're voting on
you out.
We're voting on it.
You didn't vote shit. You were like,
Sean Bennett said Tevin Jenkins. I said Tevin Jenkins. You said Tevin Jenkins. That's 3.
Well, me and Grant Root say Humphrey, so.
Yep, that's 2. So Salmon, he's saying, can we get Creed at 34? I don't think he's going 34. Pittsburgh actually might want Creed Humphrey in a trade up because they just lost their center, Mike Pouncey. He just retired. So Dimple Toys is coming in. He says Creed.
That's 3 and 3, right?
Yeah, that's 3 and 3.
Let's call it out so that chat knows. Creed or Tevin. That's the only option for giving chat. Let's hear it for Tevin. I want to see the chat flame up.
Mark Orlando comes in with a really good comment. He says, I would prefer to have arguably the best player at a more valuable position, cornerback. I think what he's saying is he would prefer Farley there. Yeah, and Grant Root brings up a good point. He says Green Bay also lost Lindsley as well, so they're going to want a center as well. Salmon says I don't want to be a GM. All right, Grant Root came in. He's the 4th.
Grant's spamming the chat. You can't make the ruling based on Grant Root.
He's voting for Creed, and he's the 4th vote.
He's spamming the chat.
We're gonna take Creed Humphrey. It's the winning vote. Most people have been about him.
What Berber came in with?
What?
Berber just came in with Tevin.
All right, so now it's 4-4.
I'm good with either. I'm just playing. I'm just pressing buttons right now. I love both of those individuals in chat, so I'm good with either one of them.
So Robbie Oak says take Farley at 34, rather not risk an injury with a first-round pick. And Grant Root follows that up by saying, know why Milner was a bust? Injuries. Farley is the same thing happening.
Oh, Grant's right. I agree with Grant.
The chat does not want Farley, and he is up for a fall. He's going to fall, I think, too. And maybe we could get him at 34. Who the hell knows? Maybe he falls all the way to 34. Something crazy like that could definitely happen. All right.
John, just like last week, you can be the deal breaker. Go ahead and bake your pig.
Well, we did Creed last week, so I'm leaning towards Tevin this week. You know what I mean?
Well, let's go Tevin, man. Let's spice it up. Let's change it. Let's change the history.
It was 4 and 4. We're gonna go Tevin Jenkins.
What do we do? You already do it?
I mean, not yet.
What do you do? You want to do a virtual rock, paper, scissors?
Jesus God. All right, ready?
Is Chad in on this, or is it just me and you? All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Fuck this. We're taking Tevin Jenkins.
That was awesome. That was
Taking
great.
Tevin Jenkins.
Wait, can we pause for a second? What if that actually happens in the war rooms? Like they're playing rock, paper, scissors in the war room.
It does
Can
not.
we also acknowledge that we would have lost the pick at this point, just like Mike Tice?
Yeah. The nightmare has come true.
Oh my goodness.
So right. Fun. Yep. Thank you, Robbie. I appreciate that. He says greatest stream on the net. LOL. Alrighty. We're going to get serious now, and we're going to go over what has transpired. We just took Tevin Jenkins. We're going to bump him inside to play guard for the Jets. So we're going to put him probably next to Mekhi Becton. That's going to be ridiculous. They're going to be pancaking people together. It's just going to be wonderful. So at 24, Samuel Cosme went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jamin Davis, linebacker out of Kentucky, went to the Browns. Zaven Collins went 26, which is crazy. Kwity Paye, 27th overall to the Ravens. They do need an edge. The Saints take Trevon Moehrig out of TCU. Joseph Asai, edge out of Texas, goes to the Packers. Christian Barmore, went to the Bills. And Creed Humphrey went 31 overall. He actually almost made it to 34. Alex Leatherwood, a guard, taken by the Bucks. And Gregory Rousseau at 33 overall. We are on the clock again. We're going to go through the picks again. Javonte Williams is still available, best running back. The receivers are still there. Terrence Marshall, Kadarius Toney. Pat Freiermuth is available at 34. The offensive tackle position's drying up just a little bit. Guard Wyatt Davis is still there. Trey Smith is still there. Landon Dickerson is a guy I'm not a fan of. A lot of people do like him a lot, though. He is also available. He could be our center. And then on the defensive side, guess who's there? Caleb Farley. I don't know how we would possibly pass on him at 34. Let's see what the chat's saying. Dimple Toys says, Baby Gronk! He wants the tight end out of Penn State. Robbie Oak says, KC got... he's just saying, interesting what happened in the draft. Do we go with Toney? Dude, listen, Salmon, if we're going to say anything right now, Kadarius Toney is my love child of the draft. If we could take him at 34 overall, after taking an offensive lineman, I think that would be bananas. And again, you're drafting for not only now, but also for the future. Jamison Crowder is not going to be manning the slot after this season, I don't think. So you're going to have Kadarius Toney for the long term inside. You're going to have Denzel Mims and Corey Davis on the outside. It's pretty. It's pretty to think about.
It's insane.
It's insane to think about. So Salmon Jets throws out a couple of names. He says Farley, Freiermuth, or Toney. He's cool with all of them. Robbie Oak says normally Wyatt, but there's so many later. He says let's take Farley here. Vern says Farley. Sean Bennett says, wait, Farley fell? Let's see. Wicked says, I remember at a time Wyatt Davis was considered to be a first-round pick. Why did his draft stock fall?
It's a good question.
It is a good question. They are talking about it. I think it's just because he plays guard. There's a couple of guys that play on the inside that might be a little bit better than him. Guard's not the most sexy pick, nor is it the most coveted pick. So he may fall a little bit further. I think he goes in the second round, though. I think that's a lock. So anyway, Vern says must get Farley now. Yeah, so Mark Orlando also comes in. He says he was supposed to go in the top 10 picks. You take a chance on Farley. I don't see how we could pass. What do you guys think?
I mean, in my mind, this pick now comes down to Kadarius Toney or Caleb Farley. I think because of our situation, you do have to go Farley because, if I'm correct, we're not up again until 66. So now you're effectively trying to get a starter in round 4 onward. But the discussion that we've been having about taking a wide receiver early has got me thinking. And I don't know. I mean, I like our corners now. I don't love them. It's not a.
We don't have very many corners to love, though. That's the issue.
But can you pass on a Kadarius Toney here?
If for Farley, I could, yeah. It would break my little heart, but I could do it. I really could. Let's see. Grant Rude says Farley at 34 is worth the risk. James, welcome back to the show, sir. This is from X Factor. If you guys don't know James, he does fantastic work at Jets X Factor. Check out their website. They do phenomenal work, and they really know their shit. James is an awesome mind for football. So, James, welcome back, dude. Good to see you. The edge players are on the screen right now. Jason Owa, and I never know how to say his damn name. Owa. Penn State edge. Jalen Phillips is still available, who a lot of people are really high on. I think you might actually be high on him, if I remember correctly. Toney, he plays wide receiver, running back, slot wide receiver. You know, he can do a lot of different things. He's not just a one-trick pony. Let's see. Chad's in the chat. He's saying wide receiver. Away. Thank you. Away. That makes more sense. Jason Away. All right, cool. So Robbie Oak says Chad seems like he's more into Toney at 34 than I thought. I mean, Toney is... He gets me excited. I would not hate the pick. I'm going to say Toney or Farley or one of these edge rushers that maybe has a little bit.
I'm gonna go back to something that you said, John, which was, you know, this draft and next year's draft is the deepest that we can really see. It's as far out as we can really see right now. You know, the 23 draft is somewhat out of our grasp in terms of what that will look like as far as opportunities and resources. In which case, chat, gentlemen, I think,
and ladies,
and ladies, for those who are out there, 2 Michelles, couple others. I think that I'm going to lean Farley here, because if you are going to give Robert something on defense, what are you giving him after this pick?
Yeah.
What are you might as well, if you don't take Farley here, then you're really just giving the defense just to give them something at that point, and you're not really believing in what they're going to bring or contribute to the defense, in which case I would rather not give the defense anything, and I'd rather just predominantly make this an offensive draft. And I don't think anyone would probably say that's a good idea. Just like anyone who plays in the stock market or anyone who you know, it works out, you diversify the way you approach those things. In which case, if you're going to give the defense one pick, to your point, John, this is the pick to give them. You already took your second and 23rd pick on offense. You got your long-term asset in Zach. You're also protecting that asset with Tevin Jenkins. Give the defense something. Give them a player who can contribute and can actually build towards that championship team that we're trying to do. I'm going Calvin Farley here.
Yep, and to be honest with you, I don't think there's much discussion. A lot of people, I think a lot of people are backing what you're saying here. So Mark Orlando started out by saying Farley, Phillips, then Toney. This draft has got a ton of receivers. Robbie Oaks said, "Yeah, I think again we have needs. Farley fits that. We don't need Toney, even though he looks awesome." Sean Bennett says cornerback is vital. Go with Farley. Grant Rude said, "Makes sense. Mike isn't very fun." Makes sense. Very fun. James said Jalen and Caleb feel very similar. Edge will always be a need for me. Cornerback is a clear need. Both have the injury history, but both potentially elite at their positions. Wait, Jalen Phillips is available? Who is this guy, and what did he do with Mike? Oh, Lord. He's saying, I'm thinking we got to go Farley here. I said Farley. A bunch of people have been saying Farley. Let's go ahead and pick him and let's move on. I think we're taking a defensive player, and I think we can move on after this. We can go on all night after this. All right, Caleb Farley is going to be a New York Jet. He's going to go opposite of Bryce Hall. We've got Javelin Guidry, who could play the slot. We can still sign a veteran corner after the draft. So I don't think it's all doom and gloom at that position. I'm not going to read all these names off. I'm just going to kind of go slowly through and pick a few names that I see that stand out. Terrence Marshall got drafted. Wyatt Davis was drafted. Pat Freiermuth got drafted at 38. Jason Owe. That was what it was. Owe. A couple of corners got taken. 3 back-to-back. Jalen Phillips to the 49ers. Javonte Williams got drafted. Trey Smith got drafted. Carlos Basham. Elijah Molden. The cornerback position has been sucked dry. Asante Samuel, Aaron Robinson. I mean, there are no corners left. The cornerback position has been hurt badly in that second round. So I'm glad we took Farley. All right. We are now back on the clock with 66 overall. And we are going to go through the positions just like the last time. The one complaint that I see in a lot of chats for other streams is they don't go through all of the players that are available. And I'm going to try my best to go through them so you guys can see them. So anyway, offense. We've got Kenneth Gainwell out of Memphis. A lot of people like him for this scheme. Trey Sermon is available. Wide receivers, we've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Amari Rogers. These are some slot guys, I believe. Tight end, Hunter Long, Brevin Jordan, Tommy Tremble. Liam Eichenberg from Notre Dame, offensive tackle, is available.
Can I already put my 2 cents in?
No, we're still reading the players. Ben Cleveland, a guard, is available. Landon Dickerson is still available. He could be our center. I don't hate the pick in the 3rd round, actually. It's worth the swing, I think, in the 3rd round. I would love to hear what you guys think about Landon Dickerson in this draft. We'll go to the defense, even though I really don't want to draft defensive players now. I want to try to focus on the offensive side of the ball. Pete Werner is available. Nick Bolton is available. Cornerback has been dried out. Tyson Campbell is available, though, from Georgia. But we're going to go offense on this position. I don't think we're going to...
yeah. Let me go.
We're going to go offense for sure. Guys, again, thank you so much. Just want to just throw this out here. Thank you so much for always tuning in, for always coming in and providing the comments and the dialogue. We really do appreciate it. It is the only reason why this show is so much fun is because of you guys. I mean, I like these 2 assholes as well, but you guys are pretty cool as well. So,
Tommy Tremble out of Notre Dame, easy pick. Sean Bennett, holla at your boy.
Dimple Toys says Myers, no running back, please. He says no Dickerson as well. Salmon says Landon Dickerson fell. Some people had us picking him at 23. I think Landon Dickerson's going to fall in this draft a little bit further than people think. A lot of people are projecting him to go 34 to the Jets. I think that's crazy. This guy had 2 knee surgeries, 2 ACL tears, and he had a bad ankle injury. He missed a lot of football in college, and that's a big turnoff for me. I don't know what could possibly change for him that's going to help him stay healthy in the NFL. James says, this is my weekly plug for Tommy Tremble.
Let's go Fighting Irish.
I think this is a little too early for him, isn't it?
66 is perfect, dude. 66 is...
I actually...
Get out of here, dude. Your eyes are closed.
If you guys hate this, you can flame away all you want. I actually really like Brevin Jordan in the late 3rd round pick. If you haven't watched Brevin Jordan, guys, he does some of the things that Kyle Pitts does. He lines up as a wide receiver. They did that at Miami. He lines up all over the place. He can move to be a tight end. He can be a split out to play wide receiver. And I actually think that's what the Jets are going to be looking for.
Let me just say this: I'm not hating Brevin Jordan either, but I've been watching a ton of Tremble videos, and so my internal compass is pointing towards Tremble, but I wouldn't be disappointed with Jordan either. I'll just say that as well. I think John, let's do that. Do we agree on tight end at 66?
No. Maybe. I don't know.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I would say the same thing.
I would like to get another offensive lineman. I would like to get a receiver, although I don't think I would take one right now. I'm pretty wide open here. I would take a tight end. I would take I would take a center. I would take the Landon Dickerson guy. I think he's worth the risk.
I thought you just said you would take Brevin. Who's your pick? Who's your preferred pick?
I said I would take Brevin in the late third round if he were still there.
But you don't have a late third round.
We do. We pulled the 86th overall pick. Why don't you study this goddamn team, buddy?
I'm thinking of the fourth. We don't have a fourth round pick. Is that? Get the fuck out of here.
All right, let's go to the chat because they're throwing in some comments here. Let's see. So Grant Rood's saying we should wait on Tremble. He could be there in the 5th round. I think you could take him in the 4th round and just be sure you get him. I think that's okay. Mark Orlando is saying let's take Tremble with the next pick, which he means the 86th overall pick.
He won't be there.
Robbie Oak is saying Brevin Jordan is good. Yeboah, good. Eubanks, good. Okay, tight ends later. Vern saying no Hunter Long love.
I actually, to be fair, I was going to add him with my suggestion here. I think Hunter Long or Tremble would be a perfectly fine pick here. I'm tired every year of watching this team act like the tight end position doesn't exist. I'm tired of having a revolving door at this position. We get excited about one guy and then he doesn't show up. Or somebody, Ryan Griffin, catches like 4 balls and we give him a 5-year contract and then he disappears. A young quarterback's going to need a tight end. So you do take the tight end pick here. And I think it could be Hunter Long. I think you can make an argument there.
I'm good with Hunter too. I don't know. Hunter's coming out of Boston College, right? He comes out of Boston.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I would say is that I don't know if he actually. I shouldn't say this. I don't know if he's going to fit the prototype of what they want. So it does say on the screen here some of his negatives. He has a limited play speed, doesn't stretch the seam. And if you think about George Kittle in that offense, that's what he does. I mean, he stretches the seam. And that's kind of why I like Brevin Jordan just a little bit better. I'm not saying that I would take him ahead of Hunter Long. I'm just suggesting that maybe he doesn't fit the prototype that they're looking for, in my opinion. Let's see. Vern says no Hunter Long love. Dimple Toys is saying, yo, we need to protect Wilson, y'all. Sean Bennett says, let's go tight end or offensive guard. Check defensive tackle. Are you kidding me? The kid from Pitt is projected to be he is a project, but a beast. Salmon, we don't need a project defensive tackle. Sheldon Rankins, Quinnen Williams, Jonathan Franklin Myers, Foley Fatukasi. The list is deep and long. We do not need to take a defensive tackle in the 3rd round. I'm not trying to hate on you, buddy, but I'm not doing that. He says I meant a center. Any chance JD trades back from 66? I think he's going to trade back from either 34 or 23. He could trade back in the 3rd round, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's see. Mark Orlando says Tremble can play the Kyle Juszczyk role with 86. Wicked says I would pick Landon, or because I'm a Notre Dame guy, Eichenberg. Everybody's saying, preach, Chad. Back-to-back comments, preach. What are you preaching? I don't even remember what you said.
He's tired of that position being treated with neglect.
Yeah. All right. So they're saying Tremble. I don't know. I'm not real sure what to do here. This is a tough one. I'm gonna say we can take a tight end or maybe an offensive lineman of some sort. Let's go ahead and start filling up the chat with just names, guys. Like don't say anything else. Just throw the name that you have. I would like to see the name that you, and that'll make it easy for me to.
Sean Dimple, I want to see you. I want to see you light that up with the tight end.
Sean Bennett. Yeah, shoulder shrug. I don't know. Eichenberg is getting a vote. Let's see about Eichenberg. Large, strong college tackle who projects well to the right side. It says he doesn't really sink his butt at the line of scrimmage, struggles handling speed rushers and gets exploited on the blitz, not light on his feet, or effective blocking and motion. So that's one thing. So it doesn't sound like he'd be a great candidate for this scheme because he doesn't look like he has good speed or lateral quickness, I guess.
Sean, did you see Sean's comment?
I did not. What did he say?
He says, okay, where's my wife? That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Dimple Toys, go Tremble. Let's go.
We're not taking Trump. Well, we could, I guess. Some people want to take this center, Quinn Miners from Wisconsin Whitewater. Small school blocker. I'm a little worried on taking a project early in the draft.
I agree. Let's go with the best talent that's there.
Yeah, but I wanted the chat to vote.
Yeah, chat's being quiet.
Yeah, all night, busy, and then we're like, vote. I just don't say anything.
No, I don't want to do it.
He says I could live with. Should have taken Humphrey. Yeah.
Mark Orlando, Tremble. Where are you with Tremble? I mean, I'm going to start calling people out. Here we go. Mark Orlando, I need your pick. Robbie Oak, not hearing from you.
Listen, the only name that's been mentioned is Quinn Miners. I'm about to take him because that's the only name I've seen in the chat. Dimple Toy says Miners. Mark Orlando says Miners. Oh, Salmon Miners. We're taking Miners. That's it.
Miners.
We're getting a center. I like this pick actually because we're now getting an offensive lineman for the center position for the future. He could just sit for a year. I think that's a good pick. Yep, and everybody agreed on that one. So Robbie Oak also said Miners for me. Trumbull later, I hope. All right. Good. Let's see here.
What's the damage look like?
Yeah, we're going to take a look and see what's available first, or what was taken. Oh, Tremble went 75 overall.
Told you guys. Now you just ruined the whole draft.
No, because my guy's there. We're going to be just fine. Don't you worry. Eichenberg went right after the Jets pick. Josh Myers, I think that Grant Rude just mentioned him. He is ranked higher than Miners on this draft website. Anyways, let's see here. Landon Dickerson went 71. Tremble, we said, went 75. Quincy Roche, edge, went 79 to the Raiders. That's about it. All right. We're going to go back to the boards here. Running back. Kenneth Gainwell is there. I'm not taking a running back yet. I still think we can get one in the 5th round probably. Wide receiver. Best available right now, according to this, is Nico Collins. Hunter Long is still there. Holy moly.
I like Brevin. I like Brevin over Hunter.
I do like Brevin as a scheme fit better. I do. And I think that we should probably go a tight end here. I think that's the best choice here. So let's go ahead and let's just make this one a little bit easier. Hunter Long or Brevin Jordan. Grant saying I really like Gainwell in the outside zone. Yeah, he might not actually make it to the 5th round, which would suck because he would be really good in that scheme. I do like another running back, though, later as well. Chuba Hubbard is will be available. Jarrett Patterson is a guy that a lot of people talk about from Buffalo with some good speed. So far, Mark Orlando has chirped for Brevin Jordan. I agree. I think Brevin Jordan would be a great pick.
He's like a jumbo running back, man. Like he's fast.
Who's fast?
Brevin.
He's a tight end.
I know, but they refer to him as a jumbo running back because he's really fast and nimble.
He can play a lot. He lined up outside at Miami. Let's see. Vern's saying let's take Hunter, so that's 1-1 right now. We haven't even talked about what we think right now. So why don't you go, Chad? What would you do? Do you want a tight end? Do you want to take another position? Do you want Hunter Long? Do you want Brevin Jordan?
Yeah, I would go Hunter Long here. I think I'm almost in the territory where I'm going best available player, but I'm still looking at need. I would have taken Hunter Long earlier, but I'm going to take him now because he's still available. So if we had anything that let us be comfortable at the tight end position, we would not go tight end here, but we don't. So Hunter Long is my pick.
Okay, fair enough. Mike, you got a preference here? Brevin Jordan, Hunter Long, different position, a different player.
I think Brevin's got a higher ceiling when it comes to his physical talent and tool set. I think Hunter is your more reliable and just traditional. He's not going to add anything to our vertical passing attack. I think he's somewhat limited, and he'll never. I think Brevin has the possibility, depending on how creative the play calling gets with LaFleur, we could really maybe turn this into something great. I'm not dissing on Hunter Long. I think he's a solid pick, but with both of them available, I'm going Brevin.
He kind of like the way that they describe him, and he kind of reminds me of the Pittsburgh Steelers tight end. I can't remember his name. They drafted him forever ago now. I can't remember. The Jets could have taken. I can't remember his damn name. That's gonna bother me now.
Miller?
Yeah, Heath. Was it Heath Miller?
Yeah, Heath Miller.
Was that his name? Or am I thinking of something else?
The white guy?
Yeah. I can't remember. I can't remember if it was Heath Miller. Yeah. He kind of, like the description sounds like him. He just kind of sounds like a good blocker, a good receiver, like well-rounded, not just like a one-trick tight end. The overwhelming consensus right now is Hunter Long. So you might win this one, Chad. Vern says Hunter. Robbie Oak says Hunter Long as well. Salmon Jet says Hunter Long. Sean Bennett says Hunter Long. Sean Bennett says Mike's been doing his research. Mike is just winning the night. Give him a coin. There you go, sir. All right. I don't know if about either. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're going to take him. I think that's the obvious pick. Everybody's voting for him. So we're going to go with Hunter Long at pick number 86 in the 4th round. Or I'm sorry, in the 3rd round. My bad. We still have there's still a lot of good players. We can still get a receiver. We can still get a running back and really help the quarterback out, I think, in this draft. Okay, recap time real quick. Let's see. Brevin Jordan went 91 overall to the Cleveland Browns. Tyson Campbell, a cornerback that would have been really good, went to the Chargers at 94. Everybody's loving you tonight, Mike. They need more of this. Kenneth Gainwell, that sucks. He went 102 overall to the 49ers. I think that probably would have been my pick here. So he's gone. And Pete Werner went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are on the clock at 107. And I'm going to quickly recap here. Orlando says, I like Hunter Long, but Wilson can get Jordan the ball on time and in space. And he has way more speed in the open field. And that's kind of the case that I made for Brevin. I think that he is the better scheme fit here. And like Mike had said as well, higher upside. You know, he might not be a polished run blocker right now, but he can learn how to block. Like, that is something that you can teach. I'm not saying I hate the pick with Hunter Long. I just think that for the upside, I think Brevin might have been the better choice. But that does not mean that I'm right and you're wrong. Yeah, Grant Root, I like Campbell too. If we hadn't already taken Farley, I might even consider it. But this is supposed to be a quarterback-friendly draft. We're trying to stick to that. Robbie Oaks says, I'm telling you, this has been Mike's best stream. Man is on point tonight. I don't know about all that. I mean, he's all right. All right. All right, we're going to move on. We are at pick 107. We're going to take a look at the board. Running backs. We are now getting to the point of no return. Trey Sermon is there. Ramondre Stevenson from Oklahoma. Chuba Hubbard is there. I really like Chuba. I would really like him in the 5th round. I don't know what you guys think about that. Chuba in the 5th round makes me a little bit happier. Wide receiver, this could be interesting. So, Tutu Atwell. Yeah, Orlando, I'm with you, buddy. I'm waiting till the 5th round. I feel like that's the best choice. Tutu Atwell is an interesting guy. He's a slot guy from Louisville. Very undersized. And he could be, our next Jamison Crowder. And he's, this is right around where he could go in the 4th round. What do you guys think about Tutu Atwell as a 4th round pick with really good speed and can play that slot position after Crowder's done?
Well, I think it's certainly not too early to start thinking about a replacement for Crowder, and considering the fact that we're trying to go offense heavy in this draft and we're trying to put pieces around the quarterback, you can't go wrong there. I would also throw in Trey Sermon. I was big on Trey Sermon in the 4th round last week, and we almost made the selection, but we didn't. I seem to be really high on Trey Sermon, and you guys aren't. I don't know quite why, but so yes, I would take Tutu here or go Trey Sermon this pick.
Okay, so Trey Sermon you're okay with the receiver. Let me get to the chat. So Dimple Toys is already sticking his nose in there, and he's saying, do not pass on Stevenson. Marquez Stevenson out of Houston. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about him? I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't know a ton about him. Throw in there why you like him so much, and I will read it in the chat. Solomon Jet says Trey Sermon, but honestly, I'm just winging it right now. Grant Rood, yes, Tutu is very small, but I think that with his speed, I think that he could, have some success. I don't think he needs to be necessarily a behemoth at the slot position to have success, but he is very small, though. I think he's like 5 foot, like 7 or 8 or something like that. So definitely on the smaller side. Let's see what you guys think. Mark Orlando says, Amir Smith Marset is a burner too, but more of a complete receiver, and he's from Newark. Nice. From Jersey. And Robbie Oak says, yo, check the other positions. And I agree. Let's make sure we look at all the positions. We already took our tight end. Offensive tackle, the best one available is Stone. Oh my God, that's the best name ever. Stone Forsyth? Holy shit. His name is Stone Forsyth. Can we take another offensive lineman for that name alone? My God.
You going to buy that jersey?
His last name is Forsyth.
You're not buying shit. I know you're not.
Oh, I might. You don't know me.
You're not buying anything.
I'm giving my listeners.
You're not even buying Zach. You're not even buying Zach's jersey. You're going to buy Stone's jersey?
I'm buying my subscribers 50% off on their
you're buying
jersey they want.
What are you buying, mofo?
I don't know. Deontay Brown is available. Deontay Brown does not fit the scheme. I would not take him. He's way. He doesn't move very well. We took our center earlier. The defensive side, edge, Hamilcar, Rashed Jr. He's in one of the videos that I did. Patrick Jones is available. That could be a pretty sexy pick, actually. I like that a lot. The edge guys. Cameron McGrone out of Michigan is available. And then the cornerback position, Ambry Thomas out of Michigan, Keith Taylor out of Washington, Rodarius Williams out of Oklahoma State. And then the safety, Talanoa Hufanga out of USC.
Wow, that was good. Good job on that one.
I tried. All right. So he says, please no, the nicknames for Wilson are bad enough. No Stone Cold, blah, blah, blah. I do love the name Stone, whatever, Forsyth or whatever. Oh, God. Mark Orlando said, my Wilson jersey is being made right now. Hey, man.
Good for you, Mark.
If you're subscribed, you're going to potentially have a 50% off on that jersey. Sean Bennett says, Cameron McLovin. Robbie Oak says, let's go with Patrick Jones or Hufanga. And he says Hufanga is a beast. Sean Bennett says, I'd go Patrick Jones, the edge. I love Patrick Jones. He's one of my favorite pass rushers in this draft. And again, I mentioned it in the video, steady improvement. Every single season, his production got better and better every year at Pittsburgh. So I'm all for that. So Dimple Toys agrees. He says Jones if you go edge. I'm not really feeling anything other than maybe taking Tutu Atwell. I could get behind, not kicker, sorry. I could get behind taking the safety out of USC, Talanoa Hufanga. What do you guys think? Let's pick between those two. Let's do Hufanga or what was the other guy? I'm sorry, Jones. Hit us in the chat, guys. What do you guys want to... Alex Cordova. I don't think I recall you ever being in the chat, sir. Welcome to the channel.
Welcome.
We appreciate you coming by. If you've been here before and you have never commented or anything like that, we appreciate the comment. Do consider subscribing if you haven't. And if you guys could, all of you, who is watching right now, we got 23 people in the chat. Hit the like button, guys. We're only at 15 likes. We would love to get to like 20. That would be awesome. We would really greatly appreciate that. So let's see. Alex Cordova is saying Patrick Jones, Salah's D, predicated on pressure from the D line. Then Grant Rude says Jones. Solomon Jett says Jones. Robbie Oak says this is a tough one, but I like Jones and Hufanga. I mean, I think we really could use a third safety. We do have the guy from the Raiders. His name is eluding me right now. The free agent that we signed.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Can't recall it either on the spot. So we do have a third safety, but he is only on a 1-year deal. It might be nice to get a young guy in there.
Joyner?
Yeah, LaMarcus Joyner. Very good. Yep.
And it's hard for me. I was gonna say I know we have a two horse race right now, and this name isn't in there, which is Tutu's. I was leaning more Tutu only for the fact that I can bring a whole nother dynamic to the offense, but it all depends on how we use it and LaFleur at that point, and there's a lot of speculation on what that would look like at that point. He's not going to wrestle that ball down, which means you got to get him on a free release, or he's not going to, or else you're in trouble at that point at 5'9". So, I was more excited about Tutu, but with the two names in the race, I'm definitely on the Jones team. The physical prowess of Jones. I mean, I wrote down what was the stat? 6'4", 270. That's a monster. You're basically that's what you're talking. Yeah, with Jones.
Yeah, I think he's 260, but yeah, big dude, not a small defensive end by any means. He wants to see the defensive tackles. Dude, we don't need a defensive tackle.
Salmon loves himself a DT.
I'll show them to you, but there's not a lot of value there right now. The chat has spoken. It's pretty unanimous. It's Jones. I haven't seen Hufanga's name other than from my own lips or from Robbie Oakes. Chad, did you get a chance to speak on it? What would you do here? You like Trey Sermon here.
Yeah, I mean, or Tutu, to be honest, but either one.
Oh, okay.
I was 2-2, man. I just
nobody else in the chat likes that pick.
Can we before we cement this, right? Because I think what the generator doesn't do a good job on, and I'm not taking it away from chat if they are doing it. Can we just replay the picks, the Jet picks, real quick?
Yeah.
We have Zach. We have Zach Wilson.
It's on the screen. It's on the screen. You don't have to read it.
There you go. So you got Zach. You got Tevin. You got Farley at 34. We took what's his name, Ramirez. And then we took Hunter Long. Sorry, did I mispronounce it? Sorry.
Yeah, no, and then Hunter Long right after that.
Right. So, we got Carl Lawson on. I don't know. I mean, building around the quarterback, right? And I'm not saying that means you have to ignore the rest of the team. I'm just saying. Can we just think about Tutu being out there running crazy with Zach Wilson behind center? I'm just throwing it out there.
So, Mark Orlando, you said not true. I'd love to hear what's not true. I don't know if you're referring to one of what we said or somebody in the chat. I would just be interested to see what you are talking about. Let's see. Dimple Toys is saying if we're going to go receiver, you should take Marquez Stevenson out of Houston over Tutu. Again, you guys would like Tutu. Not a lot of people are backing you up in the chat on this. Mark Orlando is saying I like Tutu.
I'm good with Jones. I'm just saying we took Farley at 34. We have a center. We have a guard. We have a quarterback. So
well, I'm going to throw a name out there for receiver. If we don't take Tutu here, Jalen Darden out of Texas. I think it's Texas State or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me pull it up real quick. North Texas. Sorry. Jalen Darden would be also a really good pick later in the draft to be our developmental slot wide receiver. I'd like to see what you guys think about that. Maybe passing on Tutu for Darden later in the draft. Sean Bennett saying he likes Tutu as well. And Robbie Oak just says, I think a second defensive player is not outrageous, though. Take Jones, and he's saying go offense the rest of the way.
I don't think it's outrageous. I get stuck with the 3-year plan that you and DJ talked about, right? And we got Corey and we got Denzel. We got. It's just intriguing to me, but I don't think you go wrong with Jones here. So I'll just leave it at that.
Robbie Oak says Darden of North Texas is insane. He makes people miss like brushing his teeth. Does it every day, and that is the quote. Jalen Darden with an all-time quote. He says every morning. He says I wake up. He says and I gotta make somebody miss like I gotta brush my teeth. He says I do it. I want to do it every day. Such an awesome quote, and he is very, very elusive. So I don't know, man. I mean, this is probably one of the hardest picks in the draft so far right now, I think, as far as like pulling the trigger on something. I'm going to go ahead and say, since you guys are vehemently saying Tutu, let's either do Tutu or Jones. And I'm going to put that in the chat. I would like you guys to go ahead and vote on those two players. That's been the most talked about.
Chad, don't break Chad's heart. Don't break my heart.
Sean Bennett says, I want to comb my ass hairs every day. Jones. All right, we got 2 Joneses real quick there. 3 Jones. It's a QB friendly draft, but I'm cool with taking Jones here, I think. Get out of the chat. You don't count. Yeah, Orlando's saying let's give Wilson some more weapons. I think we will, man. And again, there's 4 votes right now for Jones. We're going to have to pull the trigger on Jones, guys. I think this is going to be the vote. It's going to be pretty much QB friendly the rest of the way, though. We're going to still need to get a running back, a wide receiver. So we're going to go edge, Patrick Jones. Yeah, everybody. Dimple Toys says Jones. We're taking Patrick Jones, edge, out of Pitt. Alrighty. Let's see if anybody of significance came off the board. Jalen Darden, no!
What pick did he go at?
135. Ugh, that's who I would have wanted in the 5th. Damn. Trey Sermon went 120. Tutu Atwell went 112. Ugh. Missing out on Darden and Tutu sucks. Like, I really thought that Darden would be there in the 5th round. That sucks. All right. We're going to go ahead. Stone Forsyth, no! Let's take a look at running back. I think I know who I'm picking right now. I'm going to go ahead and just say it. Chuba Hubbard. I think it's a slam dunk pick in the 5th round. I will let you guys kind of take the stage here. You guys can take a look at the screen here. There's some receivers on the screen right now. Josh Palmer is a name that just got thrown out there. Mark Orlando. By the way, Mark Orlando, you are welcome to be on the channel anytime, sir. I love the addition to the comments you have been tonight, sir. Thank you for being here. He says Josh Palmer is a poor man's Jamar Chase. Solomon Jett says, it's okay. We can pick that defensive tackle from Pittsburgh now. It ain't happening. Mark Orlando says, I love me some Hubba Bubba.
Yeah.
I mean, we've taken 2 offensive linemen. We've taken an edge. We've taken a tight end, a cornerback, a quarterback. We've got our center. I don't see why we couldn't take a running back. Whoa! What the fuck? What just happened?
That sucks.
That sucks major balls. I didn't even hit anything. Oh, Bo.
Yeah, you gotta play the sound. Play the sound effect.
Yeah,
There's
you gotta.
no sound effect. That's bullshit. All right, so wait a minute. Robbie Oak, has this happened on another stream before? Because I've never seen that before where it just crashes. That's exactly what just happened, though. I almost want to go ahead. I want to go back to the 5th round, and we'll just move along. Here, let's do that. Let's draft. Whoops, I didn't pick the Jets. Shit. Hold on. Hang on. Yeah, Green Bean, it's happened to. I figured that it has happened to somebody else before. Clock expired, yeah. We were on that. We were on that pick for a while.
Vikings.
We are going to speed through this. We're going to go back to the 5th round, guys. We do apologize for that. We're not going to stop the draft, though. We're going to take just basically any old name. Let's see here. We will take Zachy. And I do apologize. Oh, yeah. He clicked the button twice to reject a trade, and the restart button is right there. He said, I guess we were killing the mock draft. We broke the website. We were fucking killing that draft. I loved our draft. All right, Tevin Jenkins is still there, so we might still get the players that we have. Oh, Caleb Farley. That's all right. I am going to just move through this. We're going to pretend like we got the same players as before. Yeah, that was lame, man. For us to be an hour into our draft and for it to crash like that, that is super duper lame. We took Hunter Long in the 3rd round. Is that right? I don't know.
No, we took Zach, we took Kevin, we took Caleb, then we took Hunter in the 4th.
Yeah, it's okay. Like I said, we're just gonna kind of speed through this. I'm just picking names right now.
No,
All right,
we took it. No, I'm sorry. We took Hunter in the 3rd, the 2nd, 3rd round pick. Yeah.
We're in the 4th round. I'll just take another name. It doesn't really matter. And now we are back to where we started, boys. I do apologize again. 5th round. I will go through it real fast. Shuba is still there.
I think we were leading Chuba, so we're still good.
Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't take Chuba. What are you thinking, Chad, on this pick?
I am on board with your guy Chuba here, but I will say, in the interest of also having a quarterback-friendly draft and considering where we are, I'm starting to think kicker here in the 5th round. I know we were talking about this a little bit on Twitter, but I mean, unless you're sold on Chase McLaughlin or Sam Ficken or whatever, I don't think it's too early to start thinking about kicker here in the 5th round.
Not over Chuba though. I couldn't
No,
justify a kicker
after
on
him.
Chuba.
Yeah, I was actually thinking with our early 6th round pick, we could do our kicker. I'm not interested in taking a kicker in the 5th round. I don't think anybody's going to want to do that. Mark Orlando, no kicker. Yeah, Sean Bennett says kicker in the 6th. Yep, Robbie Oak follows.
Chuba.
I'm going Chuba here. I feel like we need a running back with some explosion. Tevin Coleman's only going to be here for a year. We don't know what Ty Johnson is. We don't really know what Michael P. Ryan even is. I'm going Chuba here. I think that's the way the route I'm leaning. Chuba! And we pick again. Wide receivers, here they are. We could even take a tight end again. I don't think that's a terrible idea to get another tight end.
I don't think I would go another tight end.
I'm just suggesting it. Wide receiver is a big need. There's some receivers out here. We got Shi Smith, Cade Johnson, Wop. Stop it. His name is Wop. Filior? Wop Filior. I would ask that everybody just hit the jet up button on this now that we've got Wop Filior in the house.
You gotta like that Wop.
Let's see. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I know. That's the Wop that came to mind.
Watch that video. You'll feel great.
Robbie Oak with the PG version says, Wop, there it is. Alrighty. I'm leaning wide receiver here. What do you guys think about Shi Smith? Small, speedy receiver who can double as a return specialist. The only negatives they have listed here, it says height and size limitations, tries to play big, but loses out on larger defensive backs. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, at this point, I don't know who made that comment where it's just like I'm winging it. I'm kind of winging it right now. I'll just say this. I like the wide receiver role, and I also like a player who can help the special teams unit out. You know, John, I was a big fan of what's his name, Justin. What was his name?
Milner?
No, was it Milner? Who's the guy who was just like, yeah, I'm playing to feed my son. The special teamer that we picked up.
Yeah, Justin Hardy.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, the heart guy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm all about that hard, baby. I'm all right with helping the special teams out and also adding to the depth chart. So I'm good with that pick.
Yeah, Sean Bennett saying, in all seriousness, let's get a wide receiver. I agree. I feel like we need to take one right now. I'm still kind of devastated that Jason Darden wasn't available. Wicked says, I can't get over the fact that we haven't drafted a long snapper in the first 2 rounds. So I'm leaning towards Shi Smith. I would like to get somebody to be able to take over the role in the slot after Crowder's gone. If I don't get a big response from the chat here, I'm just going to go ahead and select him. That's the way I'm leaning right now. And Mike has already said I'm opting out, basically. He's done. And so we're going to take Shi Smith. That's my pick. That's my pick. All right. 6th round, Chad. It's your time to shine. Do you want a kicker?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I mean, in all honesty, you're talking about a position that's going to help out a rookie quarterback. I mean, you know, we're going to need to make some long kicks. Hopefully, we're going to need to get all the points we possibly can. I miss the days of having a solid kicker on this team.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like a funny concept now, but it wouldn't be if we get a solid guy. And now you're looking at, you know, it's the 4th quarter, it's November, it's windy, it's raining, and we need to make a 52-yarder late in the 4th quarter. So yeah, I'll take a kicker here.
Which Smith are you referring to, Dimple Toys? I need to know because there's a lot of Smiths in this draft. I'm leaning kicker as well, actually. That's what I've done in a lot of my mocks, is selecting a kicker at this slot. What kicker is named Smith? There's a punter, James Smith. I don't see a kicker named Smith, though. I don't see that. Well, Jalen Twyman is not available. I just checked for you. He is not on the board. Yeah, I'm leaning towards. I've read about these guys a little bit. Jose Borjales.
Mm-hmm. Is Evan there?
Evan McPherson is also available. I just don't like his last name, McPherson.
You gonna chop his head off because of his last name?
Just don't like it. It sounds weird.
I mean, Jose and Evan have the highest. They're the top 2 prospects, right?
Yeah.
Out of Florida.
I mean, I'm cool with just saying let's take a kicker and just take basically the first one available. Nobody's really commenting, so I'll take Jose Borjales. I don't know how to say his last name, but I bet it's a badass name. All right, this is our last pick 226. And we're going to take another kicker. We're going to double up on kickers. No, we're not going to do that. Offense, running backs are dried up. Wide receiver, I would actually be pretty cool with taking Dax Milne from BYU. Give Zach Wilson one of his receivers that he threw to at BYU.
I like that idea.
Yeah, you're right about that, Michelle. No worse than kickin' fickin'. Howard Fitzwater. Oh Lord, that's not a person. Fitzwater's not a person. You effing with me? Mark Orlando says no. You got to be more specific. I don't know what you're saying no to. He's saying no to maybe Dax Milne. Dimple Toys says Evan. You guys got to give a full name here. This is the 6th round. I am no effing expert. Seymour Butts. Let's. Grant Rude said, I just built a 3D zebra puzzle with my son. I think we should take Fields at 2. Oh, man. Okay, so he's saying Bell is a right tackle.
I would agree. I would agree with taking a project right tackle here.
Yeah, I'm cool with that as well. His name is Josh Ball. Or, I'm sorry. He said Bell. Who is Bell? We did check the running backs. There are the running backs. There's a guy named Puka Williams.
Puka Williams.
Yeah, Robbie Oak is agreeing. Get a pipeline O-line like Alaric Jackson. Let's see. Alaric is there. Bengals Nation. Now this is cool. This is what I like to see, man. Dude, welcome to the channel.
Yeah,
I gotta
Bengals,
say,
baby.
it's super cool to like involve other teams, other fans of teams. So you are more than welcome to hang out with us. Welcome, Bengals Nation 123. Glad to have you, man. If you're interested, subscribe to the channel, dude. Absolutely, would love to have you. Mark Orlando says Puka has mad skills. I just don't think we need another running back. I don't think we should take 2 in the draft. I think 1 is more than plenty.
Wow.
Let's see. Oh, Ball. Dimple Toy says Ball. Josh Ball, he would take out of Marshall.
I'm also
What do you
not
guys?
opposed to, I'm not opposed to throwing something at the I'm not opposed to throwing something at the defense either. I mean, at this pick, John, I think you got it right with your comment, which is with the last pick of the draft, unless you strike Tom Brady gold, and that's my plug for Tommy for this stream.
Starting to worry. You know what's funny? 20 minutes in, when you hadn't said his name, I was like, I bet he forgets.
I didn't forget.
You got to. Every week you have to say his name. Even after he retires, you have to keep saying his name.
My boy. I think you got it right. Unless you strike it rich with a Tommy pick. I think what you do with this pick is you put a player in there who you think is going to make the starting squad or the depth chart better. So I think a BYU pick for Zach to give a little bit of comfort of home, of a practice squad I think you put a player in there who you think is going to make the rest of the team maybe play harder or could contribute behind the scenes. Yes, behind the scenes. Thank you.
Yeah, I am interested in hearing from you, Bengals Nation. Like, what are you hoping for at 6? Or is it 5? I don't even know. No, you have pick 5. What are you hoping for at pick 5? We did take an offensive tackle in our mock. We took Tevin Jenkins, and we also took Miners, the center. So anyway, I'm cool with that, Mike. Like, I'm cool with just getting a developmental guy. Chad, you said maybe taking Ball or taking offensive lineman. We did hear from Dimple Toys. He said let's take Ball out of Marshall, and I'm cool with that. Like, I'm not going to sit here and stress out too bad over a mock draft 6th-round pick. We're going to roll with Josh Ball, and that is a nod to you, sir. Thank you for coming into our chat to contribute. Just as a heads up, for anybody that's watching this after the stream has ended, this is not the actual mock draft that we did.
Yeah. Well, one, good job making it this far, because that way you would have essentially made it to, well, I guess they could have skipped through the video, but essentially you would have been sitting through what we're going on 2.5 hours. So good for you if you made it this far.
Yeah, for real. So any last thoughts on our draft? We did take different players in this. I just want to reiterate that we did have our site crash a little bit. Let me actually go back. And we will get to any comments that you guys have. If you guys want to call in, it's not too late to call in. We can take a call or two before we let you guys go. Bengals Nation said, I am hoping for the Bengals to draft Penei Sewell because our offensive line man was horrible. They gave up a lot of sacks, made Joe injured. And if Bengals fans want to take a wide receiver, take it at 38 or 69. Yep.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
if you take Penei, you won't be sorry.
Yeah, I think Penei at 5 is almost like a guarantee. Penei or Rashawn Slater from Northwestern for the Bengals. I think that it would be a reach. Or not a reach, I'm sorry. I think it would be silly for them to address wide receiver at that pick. It's just, they got to protect Joe. That's crazy if they don't. I just think it would be nuts. Any last thoughts that you guys want to have on our draft? I thought it went pretty good, actually. I think it was better than our first draft that we did, Mike, with the comments. I like the balance that I like that we aggressively address the offense of side of the ball. So what do you think?
I'm very happy with how we did it. Especially, I was very happy with where we supported the defense with. I mean, I don't, what are the odds of this mock actually just, manifesting itself in real life? That we can all talk about that offline. I think though, in the world that this mock facilitated itself in, I think where we did support defense, I think it was perfect. Caleb at 34 or 23, yeah. 34, right? Yep. And then Patrick Jones at 66. Just trying to recall based on my memory.
No, it's okay. You can just say the names. Patrick Jones.
Yeah, but Patrick Jones in the mid. You had Caleb Farley falling in the top, towards the top. Then you're still securing your asset in Zach. You still protected him at the 23rd pick. You then gave him tools at the 66 pick and the rest of the pick. I loved it. I think it was. If the draft goes this way, I'll be very happy. Let's just say that.
We got a caller. Let's see who it is. They're from Maryland, so that's pretty cool. Hello?
Hi, a friend or family member who recently
Who the hell knows what that was? It certainly wasn't a commercial show.
You've got an extended auto warranty.
You got that dealership coming after you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Sean Bennett said, "You guys rock. I hope more success on your page." Yeah, man, it's a process. It's growing slowly but surely. Everybody's laughing out loud at that. Yeah, I got excited. Okay, I got a caller. I thought that was a call. It was from Maryland, so I got even more excited. Mark Orlando, he says, "Good draft, fellas." Let's see. Our original mock was Zach, Tevin Jenkins, Caleb Farley, Quinn Miners, and I think it crashed. Yeah.
Yeah, good job, John.
I mean, I didn't do shit, man. It just crashed. What can you say? Bengals Nation says, who do you think is a better player, Justin Fields or Zach Wilson? Because I see a lot of fans saying Justin Fields is better. I love both of them. I'm going to say that I prefer Wilson at 2. But that doesn't really mean that I would be upset with Fields at 2.
See you, Sean.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Yeah, have a good night, Sean. I would be ecstatic if we drafted Fields. I'd be just fine. Just because I prefer Wilson, though, does not mean that I devalue Fields. I think he's got extreme upside. So maybe that's not the answer you were looking for. Maybe you were looking for me to pick one side or the other, but that's just the way I see it. I think that they're both insanely talented, and it's just going to be a matter of who builds up the team around him. Yeah, shout out to Mike. It's his birthday weekend. Happy birthday, early birthday to Mike. Robbie Oak says, B+ for me. Great stream. Smart working our way through the picks. Great analysis. Only B+ because we didn't do trades. And hey, listen, we've still got 2 weeks, so that means we've still got 2 more mock drafts. Next week we'll do that. We will do a trades. We'll emphasize on trades. We will do trade backs. We'll do trade ups. We'll get crazy next week, and we'll do some trades.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be a shit show.
Yeah, it could get messy, but that's okay though. It's fun. You're just fucking around anyway, right?
Yeah. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Grant, for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it.
Yep. Guys, I think that's going to be it. Any last words, Chad? Thanks for coming on, Chad. We really appreciate you coming on to the channel.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. If the draft shakes out anything like this, I think we're set up in good shape.
Yep, I think so. Mike, any last minute or last second thoughts?
Thanks to the chat for all the engagement, for the birthday wishes, for an awesome night. Can't wait for the next stream and for the draft. And chat, I also want to thank you, CPSNY613, lighting it up, bringing the energy. I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a fun season, much better than last year. So
yeah, we're getting close now. 2 weeks away. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Go Jets!
Go Jets!
We will see you guys next time.
J-E-T-S